Well, hello. Today is story time. And if you're new to this channel, hello, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I created this channel to share about my adventures living abroad in Mexico City. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with others. I would love to hear from you about things that you might be interested in hearing or learning about Mexico City for future videos. So let's get into it. So I decided to go ahead and share about one of the things that happened to me when I first moved here to Mexico City. I want to say I was here I think I'd only been here maybe a week or a week and a half when I got lost, had to figure out the subway and do it all with no cell service. So when this happened, I actually shared about this on my Instagram story and people followed along with the journey, and I decided to go ahead and tell you all what happened, and then I will cut in some of those videos from real time, what I was thinking, what I was processing, what I was going through on that particular day. So what happened was that I decided that I wanted to go to the Jamaica Flower Market. It's a very famous market out here. They have all these flowers. I believe they have others, and they actually also have food there as well. I do remember walking and there was some food there, but it's really known for all of the beautiful flowers that they have. I am a sucker for flowers. I love them. I love fresh flowers. I love to receive them. I love to buy them for myself. And so I said, you know what? I am going to treat myself and go get myself some fresh flowers for my room. And I mentioned to one of my roommates that I was thinking about going to the Jamaica Flower Market, and she was like, oh yeah, it's fantastic, you should definitely go. And she mentioned that there was a subway stop near there. She was like, yeah, there's a subway stop right there if you want to take that. And I was like, no, like I said, I'd only been here maybe a week and a half. And I was like, I plan to learn how to use the subway. I'm familiar with subway systems, having grown up in the DC area. I've also lived in New York City, so I'm used to the subway. And so I have no problem coming here and learning it. But I was just like, not on today. But then the universe said, oh no, you gonna learn today. But we'll get to that. So my plan was that I was going to take an Uber to this vegan cafe that I had heard about, that I wanted to grab a pastry from, and then have the Uber take me out to the flower market. So Uber picks me up and we go to the cafe, and obviously I had put in the wrong address. I don't know what I had done, but we pulled up to some back alley industrial looking building, and I'm looking around and I'm like, well, this ain't it. And so I'm trying to communicate in my broken Spanish that, this is not where we're supposed to be. And I was like, let's just go ahead and go straight to the flower market, since I'd already included that in my route. But he was trying to explain to me that I needed to update it. And so we were trying to figure that out. But the issue was that when I was trying to go into the Uber app, it wasn't loading. It just kept spinning and spinning and spinning, which at the moment I didn't think too much of it. I thought, okay, well, maybe we're parked, I'm not getting good service. In any case, we figured it out. He got me over to the flower market, and I get out and I look at my phone again, and the Uber app is still just circling. It's actually looking like I didn't even get picked up from my address. And so I was like, okay, well, this is going to be interesting. Because here I am trying to figure this out. And so actually, let's cut to that actual moment when I was like, okay, I'm here, my app's not working, what am I gonna do? I'm here and I have no idea yet how I'm gonna make that call. I know I will, just trying to remain calm. So I'm gonna walk around this market like I had intended, try to formulate a plan. I know there's subway around here. I think there's some official taxis I can take, so I'm gonna figure it out. But okay, so I decide to, like I said, go ahead, and I'm like, I'm here now. I am gonna get these flowers and I will figure everything out as I go along. So I go in the flower market, it's wonderful, it's beautiful. I walk around. get my flowers, and then I'm like, okay, well, let me walk out here outside, and maybe if I could just walk to some place that's a little bit more populated, maybe I'll be able to pick up a signal at that point. So I walked maybe about a block or two, and still just circling, no service. I can't get to my maps. I can't WhatsApp anybody. It's a dead zone. I literally have no service. And so I'm just mulling over my head. What am I going to do? So I'm done at the flower market. High price to get some fresh flowers, meeting all of this that I'm going through. So my app is starting to load, but it's still not letting me put anything in. So I have a couple choices. I can either try to take an official taxi, which I tried to wave one down. I don't know if he saw me or just ignored me. I could try that, or there's a Metro Loop station right behind me that I can try to figure out as well. So, I don't know. And it's starting to rain. I do have an umbrella because I don't go anywhere without it during rainy season. So, I'm going to decide which I want to do. I'm going to try to see. I'm going to walk a little bit more and see if the app will pick up. If not, then like I said, I'll try to get another city taxi or metro. So it looks like I'm being directed to use the subway or to figure that out. At this point, I think that's the only way. I can't even contact anyone to try to call an Uber on my behalf. So I'm gonna try to figure out the subway. I just got into a taxi, told him where I was going. He was like, nah, I don't go that far. Very sweet, but was like, I can't take you. So, subway it is. So yeah, he was like, nah, I cannot take you. So I was like, all right. So in the meantime, I decided to go ahead and send a WhatsApp message to my roommate to ask her what our subway stop was. I was like, let me just send a message just in case somehow I, by some miracle, do get service. I'll know where I'm going, because at this point, I have no choice but to figure out the subway, because there was going to be no other way for me to get home. So I go downstairs, I look at the map, and I'm looking at all, and like I said, I understand subway maps, and this one is pretty straightforward, like most of them, but you need to know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could understand the map all day, but if you know where you're going, it still doesn't make any difference. So I'm looking for anything that looks familiar to my neighborhood. Nothing is coming up, and I'm just like, okay, all right, so let me just go over to the to where you could buy the tickets and see if I can ask. So I go to buy the ticket, I'm asking, and again, in my struggle broken Spanish, trying to say where I'm trying to go and ask, and she, just points over to the police officer for me to go speak to him. So I go speak to him, and I say to him, because the part of town I live in is called Escandon, Section 1. And so I tell him that I need to go to Escandon Section 1, and I'm explaining to him, and he points to a map, and he's showing me where I guess he thinks I'm saying I need to go. Because in retrospect, I believe that he saw clearly I'm a foreigner, and I'm saying Escandon, but thinking that maybe he thought that I meant to say or was trying to say Escuadron, because that's where he sent me. Okay, y'all. So I'm in the subway, wedding, crazy. I'm in the subway. I hopefully got the correct directions, and they understood what I was saying, where I'm trying to go. Fingers crossed. That's all I can say. Fingers crossed. So I go ahead and I go in, follow his instructions to go to the train I need to go to. And inside, my instincts told me, like, this is probably not right. You're probably not going to the right spot. But I had nothing else to go on. So I was like, well, I just got to see. So I get on the train. I'm on there, headed in that direction. Get off at Escuadron, go up the stairs, look around, and quickly see I am not where I'm supposed to be. And also looking at my phone that is continuing to spin. Nothing I can pull up, no maps, no Uber, no nothing. And I'm just like, I cannot believe this. So I go back downstairs, but this time I'm getting tired because it's been a good, I guess probably at this point, a good hour or more by then that I've been trying to figure this out, and on no food. Now, if you know me well, you know I don't do well when I have not eaten. My nickname for my appetite that my friends gave me was Brutus, because Brutus likes to eat. When Brutus doesn't get food, it's not a good thing. So not only was I just hungry, I was also just feeling kind of weak and tired, and I wasn't drinking a lot of water because I was like, on top of all this, I don't need to have to go to the bathroom. So anyway, I was at that point. So I go back downstairs, I look at the map again, and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can find anything that looks familiar. Bellas Artes, the museum, the art gallery, looked familiar to me, and that's over by the Zocalo in Centro. So I was like, let me go there. That's familiar to me. I'd been there before. I know it's a heavy, a heavy tourist area, and I was like, for sure, if nowhere else, I should be able to get some service there. So I go back down on the train again, feeling very lightheaded, and like, Lord, I cannot pass out on this train. At this point, that's all I was caring about then, was like, I cannot pass out. So I was able to grab a seat, try to breathe, get myself together. I'm heading to, that location. And then miraculously, we go through, I guess somewhere or a station that had Wi-Fi. And I got the notification on my phone that there was Wi-Fi nearby. I was able to hop on it really quickly. And thankfully, my message went through to my roommate, and she let me know which stop was ours. So I was like, great, but I was already headed where I was headed. So I go get off, I go look at the map, I see where our stop is, what I need to do to get there, but I'm feeling so lightheaded, and something inside of me, my instincts were like, don't get back on the train right now. Like, I just felt this overwhelming feeling. So I went back upstairs to try to gather myself. Now, what I was at the time carrying around with me were these electrolyte packets that you can pour into your water. And so I did find somewhere to sit. I was pouring that in my water so I could just sip on that to try to, give myself some electrolytes, to try to give myself some energy since I was feeling so weak and lethargic. And still, so the saga continues. I am down at the Zocalo, so at least I'm somewhere where I'm familiar, but I still cannot get service. And I was certain that I'd be able to get service down here. The good news is I found the correct stop I'm supposed to go to. I'm just trying to muster the strength to go back down here and start again to get there. So we continue in this heavily populated place. And mind you, this has never happened to me before. When I came to visit Mexico for the first time in December, had no problem with cell service. Leading up to this point, same thing. So I had no idea what was going on. So after I took a few sips and then just was mulling over, okay, am I going to try to just push through and get back on this train? But I'm telling you, it was just too overwhelming. I actually walked back downstairs and I thought about it. I even bought a ticket and I was like, I shouldn't do it. So I walked back upstairs, and what was so interesting about this day is it was so kind of gloomy this day. It almost felt like, I don't know, almost eerie. I can't explain it, but I was very determined to keep myself together, to not get, worked up. I knew deep down, you're gonna figure this out somehow. You were going to get home. And I knew I had to hold it together, because being by myself, in a city, that I'm learning distraught ain't a good look. And it's not helpful. I'm not trying to make myself, look vulnerable in any way, shape, or form. So I was able to hold it together, which I was very happy about. In any case, I was like, maybe if there were some cafes, and I was like, maybe if I just go to a cafe and see if they have something that I can eat, I could do that. But I was trying to really get home by a certain hour, because I had a dinner that I was going to that night that I really did not want to miss. And so I was like, and then, at that point when you've been trying to figure things out, you've been, here, there, and everywhere for a couple hours, you've been lost, you just want to get home. And so that's where I was. So I walked over to the cafe, but then I kept seeing city taxis go by. And I was like, I'm going to try one more time to hail a taxi, because I knew I was closer into where I lived. And I was like, let me see if this works. So I was able to hail one. I showed him, my address. He was able to pull it up on the map, and we verified. He was like, I can take you. When I tell you, the heavens opened up, music to my ears. I got into that cab and was just breathing the biggest sigh of relief. Let me tell you, I have no idea how much the fare was going to be, if he was going to, I don't care what he would ask me for when we got to the house, for how much it was going to be. I was like, I just need to get home, which I did. He got me there safely. Miraculously, I made it to my dinner on time, because what ended up happening is that once I got home and got on Wi-Fi, I tried to call AT&T, my provider, to find out what's going on, and I still wasn't even able to get through. So I had to call my mother in the States on three-way to ask her to call AT&T for us to figure out what in the world was going on. So was on the phone with them for a good hour, troubleshooting, and they had me power down my phone and power it back up, and they said, sometimes when you're traveling internationally, sometimes that might happen where if you lose a signal, you should try to power off your phone and power it back on, and usually that will kick it back in. Again, I've never had to do that before, but we were able to get it handled. I was able to get a shower and then make it to my dinner, like I said. The lessons that I learned: sometimes you are just going to be thrown into the deep end of life, and you just have to figure it out. And also in those moments, remember who you are and that you can figure it out. So that was my getting lost in Mexico City saga. And, I think I'm better for it now. I think I joke to people about it all the time and say I got hazed into the subway situation, because I just laugh about the fact that I told my roommate, oh, I'm not going to take the subway today. And universe was like, oh, but yes, you are. So anyway, that is that. Just wanted to share that. And I look forward to sharing more of my adventures, and hopefully not many misadventures, here in Mexico City. Thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know in the comments what other topics you want me to cover, and I look forward to seeing you next time.